themarshallman.com.
Over the coming weeks, I'll be releasing a series of videos and interviews with Master Howard as an introduction to the Prana Dynamics system. Now, Howard is a teacher that I met back in 2018 when I was in Taipei, and since that time I've always wanted to feature Howard on my show. However, given the current situation with the pandemic and travel restrictions, rather than trying to travel to Taipei at this time, I think it's better if I conduct this interview via Zoom. We would like this interview to be dynamic and interactive, so if anyone has any questions that they want me to ask Howard over the coming weeks, please leave a comment in the comment section of this video and I'll be sure to relay your messages across to him. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy part 1 of this interview.
Hello everybody, my name is Huai Wang. My Chinese name is Huai Hsiang Wang. And my father is Wang Jie, who learned 8-step praying methods from Huai Hsiang Wang in person ever since I was in junior high school. So after the 8-step praying methods, and my father has been practicing virtually on a daily basis. And since after he had extensive contact with the local martial artist community, and he has been assimilating different techniques from various schools, and they literally exchange and practice together. So I was born in this family ever since I was a child. And I first met Master Huai Hsiang Wang in person when I was in junior high school. And 8-step praying methods is my first complete system of traditional Chinese martial arts. And I've been practicing it ever since. And I have been using the 8-step praying method system as my hardcore, and to assimilate the applications from different systems like Tai Chi, and Crane, etc. So and I've been evolving myself ever since. And then later, around the year 2000, because I've been practicing regularly, not as diligent as my father, but around 2000, by then my foundation was very good. And just that I feel that there's something wrong. Then I asked myself the question, why do I have to practice so hard to master an art whereby I cannot possibly have a chance to really make use of it at all? Because by then, even up to now, I've never involved myself in a single fight. So, I asked myself, what's the point for me to keep on practicing the art? Because I'm not a soldier, I'm not a mafia. You see, I'm not a policeman, I'm not a criminal. I see no chance for me to make use of the art at all, and I don't participate in competitions. So by then I was ready to stop, and but then it was a little bit too harsh for me and to my father as well, for me to stop then and there all of a sudden. So instead of stop the practice by them, I gave myself 1 more year. It's like a vow to myself. Okay, I'll try it 1 more year. But instead of practicing, like before, I just want to find 1 more reason for me to keep on with it in that year. If I cannot find a reason for me to keep on with it, I will stop. Okay. So by then I read extensively and into the literatures and also into the spiritual dimension. And then it was during that year, a lot of things happened to me. And when I successfully deflame my mind, forsake the contentious mind, and settle in. The deeper I settle in, the more I can see the answers to the questions I had about the art from inside of myself. And the deeper I'm in, the more I can see the answers from myself intuitively. So there was enhanced pace of internal evolution or internal awakening, like the bubbling up of soda water, like each bubble is like a touch of epiphany. I see. I see. This is what it means. This is what they're talking about. Okay, this is then. I realized that the essence of Kung Fu is not about fighting. You know, the Chinese word for Kung Fu is that the Chinese word is a graphical by nature, and the word is composed by two parts only. It says stop fighting. Okay, and by surrendering my mind to my heart, by forsaking the contentious mind, by stop fighting with people, I can sense my energy from inside of myself, more or less intuitively. And then I learn to flow with it and harmonize myself with it. And then I begin to understand what energy work is about. What is a qigong, and what is momentum, and more. You know, all those spiritual metaphorical pointers, they begin to concur to me. Okay, so it's not only 1 year. Ever starting from that year, I begin to evolve, you know, deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's why I found myself a good reason to keep on teaching the art, you know, not in the traditional way, because I feel like almost like I have graduated myself from the tradition, and lineages and mysteries in the traditional sense. And so I just my own footsteps and keep on evolving. Okay, first energetically, and most importantly spiritually. So now when I look at the martial arts community, I pay equal respect to all systems, all traditions, and lineages, but I do not subscribe to any of them, because by the end of the day, I realize that it is I who is practicing. It's my body, it's my mind. I'm the only one to make a difference from inside of myself. Nobody else can do it for me. Okay, so no point for me to copy or to learn from the other people. It's more about, you know, becoming more and more awake and aware of who and what am I. Okay, so my orientation changes substantially. My landscape changes substantially. Okay, and when I flick the coin around and when I look into the spiritual dimension, I see exactly the same fallacy, you know. So that's why the same mentality and attitude. I pay equal respect to all religions, you know, all spiritual practices, but I don't subscribe to any of them, you know. So and ever since that, it's like internally, by surrendering my mind to my heart, internally, I embark on the internal journey subjectively, you know, by putting up the puzzle work one by one from inside of myself, you know, putting up the puzzle work from inside of myself, and then I can see the picture, and then I can feel the sensations, I can sense the energy, and then I know what it's about. So by letting go of the conceptual bondage with traditions, by being more and more aware of myself, you know, I've been evolving more and more. So that's why I took it as my personal sense of mission to keep on teaching the essence of the art. That's why nowadays I call it Prana Dynamics. Okay, prana is a Sanskrit term for life energy. Dynamics, that's about the energy in motion, you know, the essence of life, of manifestation in life. So I'm trying to uphold the essence of the art, that is self-validation, you know, Chinese Kung Fu, the essence of Chinese Kung Fu, self-validation. You have to see it, you have to see it, you have to feel it, you have to sense it yourself before you believe in anything, okay? So Prana Dynamics is not a name of a system. It's just the essence of the art, you know. But I cannot force people to really, you know, follow my own footsteps. So that's why I the first point I want to make it clear to my people is that you cannot learn anything from me. This is not what the art is about. You know, you are supposed to revert your mental focus and explore back into your true nature. Okay, this is how you internalize not only skills. Everybody with the martial arts, everybody begins from the skills, and there's more than just a martial skill. You have to, if you want to internalize it, if you want to sense and understand what energetics is about, you have to learn to settle in by relaxation, by surrendering, by forsaking the contentious mind, by being more open from inside of yourself. And by teaching the art, I'm just my role is just like a tour guide. So because I myself, I've been practicing the art literally all my life. So all the mistakes you can possibly make, I made the mistakes myself before. So I know how it feels. I know what it is like, and I can provide you a in time pointer or advice as to how should you cope with it and to evolve yourself, from this bottleneck or blockage, all for the better. Okay. So basically, this is my short intro.
You spoke about there was like a realization that you had where you went through this mental shift of understanding, that you're saying that, the energy, the ability is already there. But if you change your understanding and what you call deflame the mind, then this skill can actually evolve from something that's already there, that's already present.
Yes, you are already, it's already in you. You already are the energy in animation. And so by practicing, everybody, here's the trouble. Everybody starts from the ego mind, okay? But actually, it's the ego mind that's blocked you away from the sensing of it, okay? So you already are perfect. Everybody the same, There's nothing missing. Now, without energy, there can be no possibility of life. You are already the primal energy in animation, and more. You are the animator, not the animated, as a ego you. With a stronghold of the bondage of your body's sensations as an individual. This is a wrong notion. It took me many years to understand this, because including myself as well. If everybody starts from the ego mind, okay, and the contemporary kung fu martial arts conceptual understanding is wrong, and the mode of practice is wrong. And as everybody starts from the mind, it's the nature of your ego mind to want to have, to want to become, and this is why it doesn't really matter how many years you've been practicing. Basically, you're heading to the wrong direction, Second, when your mind is active, in ancient Chinese lexicon, the mental energies, the ego mind is the mental energy on flame. Once you're on flame, you are in bondage. And so you identify yourself with the subject instead of, harmonizing yourself with the pure subjectivity in you. So that's why there are a lot of people who have been practicing for years, not only for martial arts, spiritually the same. You've been practicing for many years without getting anywhere. Only if you are open and honest to yourself, then will you be able to understand and wake up. There's something wrong. Okay, I'm not getting anywhere. The essence of the art is not about for you to become the number one, because ever since everybody is born, you are the one and only in life as an individual. But as I said earlier, energetically, once you can understand first the overall conceptual picture and sense it for yourself, you are not an individual. You are the primal energy in animation through the vehicle of this body, okay? And then your perspective will become different, okay? And them, it's not an art of to become the number one. It's an art of being, harmonizing yourself with your primal energy in you. But to do this, because when you're talking about this internal landscape, because it's a subjective art, it is also an empirical science. So that's why for people to really understand what they are trying to, why they are practicing, when you need a very good conceptual understanding. It's very similar to when you want to make a trip to somewhere you've never been before, because you're never taught, you've never been there. So you need to find yourself a valid map, okay? And before you embark on the journey, this is what I refer to as a conceptual framework of understanding. And once the map is there, you have to prepare your gears and then embark on the journey with a good sense of direction, so that you won't bear the risk of being lost or being deviated somewhere in the middle of the way. So this is the essence of the art: validation. Don't keep on accumulating knowledge in your head or without being able to digest it or sense it yourself. Okay, so this is why in Chinese Kung Fu, in ancient Chinese Kung Fu lexicon, there's a saying: if you just practice the forms and skills without proper understanding of what you're looking for, you'll get nowhere. By the end of the day, your form will remain empty. You see? Yes. So if you repeat the same, if you make the mistake, everybody made mistake. If you make the mistake once and you know it's a mistake, okay, you have to prevent yourself from making the same mistake again. But if you make the mistake twice, that only says that you're stupid. You're ignorant. You don't know what you're doing. Okay, and if you repeat it 10,000 times, from a small mistake, it becomes a stronghold of your mind. You entrap yourself in your ego, and then, okay, nobody can rectify the mistake you have accumulated in you, and you'll be forever under the spell of your imagination, and worse, other people's imagination.
Once you have this realization and you start to understand, you deflame the mind and you see things from a different point of view. Uh-huh. In this sense, if you're taking a student and you help them realize that they need to look at things from this different perspective, do they instantly acquire these skills, or is it something that they understand and then it's a gradual progress to improve and make it better?
When it comes to the learning process, the mode of learning is different. So everybody is different. And some people get it faster, some people never get it, especially when you try to use your mind to understand me, you cannot. So through validation, so that's why I tell my student, if you say that you understand me, yes, you can understand my words, you can understand the meaning, you can understand the concepts. But the problem is that the concept is the claw of your mind. You are still bound by your mind. But that's okay. That's the first starting point. You have to understand the concept. Again, through validation, you put out the puzzle work and validate the puzzle works from inside of yourself, and to come up with a picture. Okay, that's the first step. This part is easy because I'm perhaps one of the very few teachers. Not only can I demonstrate to you the skills, I can verbalize it. Okay. This is one of the my key distinction. So once you can understand this, then you need to validate. When it comes to validation, based upon my teaching experience, younger people will have more problem because of the lack of maturity of their ego mind. So on average, the age of my students are after 40, on average. Okay, but the question is about the validation mode. So that's why I come up with the teaching program called Prana Dynamics. Through the programs, I can explain to people the theory and the practice to help you establish the conceptual framework in mind first, and then validation. Okay. And the way I teach people to validate is through the art of feeding. And contemporarily, the feeding is actually the original format nowadays what people call the Tai Chi push hands. Okay, but I personally don't like the term push hands because and then my student asked me, so but then why push hands? What is push hands? I said, don't push, no hands. See if you can take it. Okay, so in a young family, and they don't call it a push hands, they call it a twist hands. Right? Like in year 2001, I first met Master Zhu from the Wang Yongquan lineage at Beijing. You know, I told him my perception and I told him my understanding. No, he totally agreed with me. He said, "Yeah, in my lineage, when the Yang family was teaching in the Forbidden City, they don't call it push hands; they call it twist hands. Why twist hands? Twist to bypass the contact point." Okay, so the Wang lineage, they said that for people to understand the essence of the Tai Chi, one has to begin from the exploration of the contact point. You know, explore from the contact point, and the twist hands is to bypass the contact point. Okay, but now people because in the name of tradition, people vulgarize it, and it's kind of outright a degradation of the essence of the art. And worse, try to make it it's a new format of competition in the name of Tai Chi. Tai Chi in Chinese means the ultimate harmony. In oneness with the ultimate harmony, how can there be contention, let alone fighting or competition? So the current development format of Tai Chi push hand is totally wrong.
So for your validation process, do you do something similar that looks like push hands, what you call, the feeding and twisting hands? How would that look?
No, I do teach people some the principles. Once you get those principles, they can be incorporated and extended to any application techniques. But when you push hands, it's in the feeding mode. It's for people to learn to sense, first their energy by relaxation or releasing of their muscular tensions, to make room for the fascia to breathe. So in the human body, the fascia is actually one of the most important energetic organ. It is it's the energy pathway. So by releasing your muscular tensions, you're making room for the fascia to breathe. For instance, if you tense up your muscles, once you tense up your muscles, it's contraction. Okay, through the contraction of the muscles, you are choking the fascia. Okay, from its proper energy, conductivity, activity. So if you release your muscles, then you release the fascia, and the fascia will have more room to breathe. Once your fascia is released from this contracted tension, then you will have a better chance to sense the energy flow. There's a body energy and there's also the mental energy. So the essence of relaxation is not for you to try to relax. There are two parts of it. And one, you have to release your body. Okay, so that is like the frozen ice in the pipeline, melt off the frozen ice in the pipeline by releasing the muscular tensions. And second, you have to learn to deflame your mind and confluent your mental energy with your body energy, or the ancient Chinese call it the vital energy, to confluence through your fascia. Okay, and this confluence of your mind-body energy throughout the fascia is the core essence of what people call the fascia breathing or internal breathing. Now, this is just the beginning of the internal journey.
So it's actually the fascia that is conducting the energy.
No, the fascia is just a pathway. The conduction of the energy internally inside of yourself is the wheel of the deflamed mind, the mental orb, not the ego. Once you're in the ego, your mental energy is on flame, it's entrapped, in your head. So once your ego mind is active, your mind, your mental energy and body energy are in separation with one another in functionality. So once they separate, the body energy and mind energy, they are in fragmentation. Okay, so you cannot sense your own energy. So that's why to open up your bodies, to release your muscular tension is the first step. The second step is learn to deflame your mind and then to modulate this mental energy to confluent with the body energy. And this will sharpen your body sensations, and then you'll have a better chance to feel and sense the energy flow throughout the fascia. There'll be it's a very subtle. You'll be able to sense a very tiny increase of temperature. It's a warmish sensation begin to permeate. So from this, from releasing the fascia, you can go from this flexibility to the permeation of energy, and then conductivity, and the function of will, but not will, the will of your mind. It's the will of the mental orb, I call it, from your chest. And you can sense the energy flow. And then we try to enhance the conductivity through practice. And then later, once you stabilize yourself with it through practice, you can extend the will, into space. So from the skin pore to space, it's called intention. Okay. So at the function of this intention, your mind-body energy will automatically confluent to where your focus of mind is. Okay, this is exactly the mechanism that's been prescribed in Tai Chi classics. Because in Tai Chi classic, they have only one sentence about the nature of momentum. And I said, where your focus of mind is, and energy follows. Where there's energetic throughput, magic happens. Okay, and this conception of momentum is distinctively Chinese. If you look into into any other martial arts systems around the world, only Chinese Kung Fu, especially the ancient Chinese Kung Fu, they emphasize this concept of momentum. Okay, but now not many people is able to demonstrate it properly. It's like to me before. I think it's a dying art, but when I'm looking at the landscape today, I found that no, it's an endangered art. Not many people can demonstrate it properly no more.
When you use the word momentum, are you using what they describe in Chinese as jin?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Okay.
And also you mentioned earlier about the contact point, that one shouldn't get stuck and caught up in the contact point. I mean, what is the importance and relevance of bypassing this contact point as you described?
Okay, the contact point, because we humans, so we are no different from the animals, so once you begin from the mind, and when you are engaging in fighting activity, basically every encounter is a question of life and death. So once you use your mind and try to thrust a punch, first, your mind can have only one focus at a time. And second, the stronghold of the body, what's embedded in the body is the fear, the natural reflex because of fear. Okay, so whenever there's a contact, your mind is always on side of the contact from the ego mind. So it's like okay, the contact point. If we dramatize it like a ball, so I punch it here. My mind is on the contact. And I want to defend myself. My mind is also on the contact, okay, with two bodies with muscle tension and force. And then see, this is a one-way alley, and you two cars are playing chicken. You see, so on side of the contact point, force against force, you entrap yourself and lock up yourself in one spot in space. Okay, by bypassing, I don't go away, I don't drop, I don't evade. I'm still there, but I think that I don't have muscle tensions. So by touching here, I just activate my fascia tension, balance with his tension, and then I can tap my intent behind this contact point. And then I use my fascia breathing to breathe with his tension to neutralize his impact. So this will give you the freedom. Your mind can be anywhere in space but the contact point. Like this is also, I think, the Tai Chi classic. When it comes to the Tai Chi classic, it's very interesting. It's a very good article, and it's because The Tai Chi Classic is someone who mastered this art and they come back to the mind with the ego, and I try to explain it to people what it feels like. Okay, and so the Tai Chi Classic, when it comes to this description of this, it says that, okay, outside of the contact point, don't push, don't drop, don't evade, don't move. What does it mean? It means bypass. Bypass the contact point, harmonize with its tension. And your mind can go anywhere in space. Your energy will confluent with you. That's all.
And what is the importance of what you mentioned about the fascia breathing? Is this so that you can modulate the energy that's being used?
Yes. Yes.
So are you modulating your energy or the energy of your opponent?
Not I modulate the energy. It's by surrendering and dissolution of my mind, I become in oneness with the energy in animation. I am the energy, not the mind, not the body. I am the energy that which animates the body sensations. So through practice, by surrendering, you harmonize your mind first with your body sensations. Now, once your body can release the stronghold of the wrong habits of attention, muscular tension, then you begin to sense the energy flow. So to internalize this martial arts is to harmonize yourself first with your body sensations. Second, go deeper. You harmonize yourself with the energy that which animates the body sensations. You become the energy in animation. Okay? So whereas martial arts is just one of the possible ways for external manifestation of this internal freedom. That's all.
TheMartialMan.com